calibration's off, showing 9/10 off. First thing you want to do is just straighten out that antenna mass. Alright, so basically with the road grader, it's pretty simple. It's just like an MC square system on a dozer, which we're going to get that dozer up and running as well. But anyway, you want to get the pole pretty much straight up and down, best you can. And this is where you're going to be telling the sensor where 0 is for that pole, basically. So if you go this way, you got the corner of the blade, whether you're using the right or the left. How far over or inside is this sensor coming down? And where does that sensor land when it comes straight down? Okay? So how far over is the sensor? How far back, how far behind is the sensor? Once you find that magic spot of where that sensor is, you need those two measurements, the width of the blade and the height of the antenna. How high is it down to the corner of the blade? That's it. Those measurements right there. And then you calibrate the system and you run with it. So it seems like he's got a slope sensor calibration issue. It just needs to be calibrated. So, because right now it's this essentially is 0 for the antenna. Once that antenna is straight up and down in pretty much every position in reference to the blade, that sensor should know that that's 0. So, and it's not knowing that right now. So, well, we're gonna have to just edit this one. What did I say this was? 12M3. Alright, next. Let's see if it lets me change these numbers and hold it. Number 3, 0.68. That's what was causing the east and north to be out. 11.99. We'll run that one and see if it... Alright, it's going to allow changes. Why wouldn't it allow a new file? That is so interesting. Huh. Alright, let's take a shot of that right corner over there with the new measurements and see what it says. 'Cause I have saved the shot we took. Yeah, even with the new measurements, it's still off. Let's see. Yeah, it's still off. So that tells me we have a sensor that's off. So we'll go into the sensors. The blade slope is reading 8%. No way is that 8.0%. So what we need to do now is we'll take and level that blade. We'll put the level on it and we'll set that to 0. Blade rotation is at 0. Close. Main false slope is -1.1. We'll have to measure that. That seems about right. That seems normal. But 8%, that's way off. that's basically telling you, that's what's giving you your elevation error, because it thinks that blade is somewhere else when it's actually more almost straight. So we'll straighten that up and we'll reset it. Alright, so I just started the machine and basically put the blade at 0 according to these readings. I will jump out, throw the level on it, and actually see. It's probably going to read, what do you say, 8%? Nope, it's 4.4%. So even that's off. 0 is like down here. So, yeah. So what I'll do is I'll just set that blade with the level at 0, and I'll reset that value for 0.0. The blade is at 0. And the sensor thinks it's at 7.1%. Change that to 0.0 and set. And it should hold. So now, wherever I put this blade, I should be able to take my measure out there and read that, and it should say 5.9, negative 5.9. Put it back to 0 and check it. That's touchy. Touchy. I guess it's nice to have a touchy grater. Alright, so I moved it just to kind of throw that sensor, and now I put it back to 0, and we'll just check it with the level, make sure it's at 0. If it's not, you just do the same thing over again. So now we check the right side of the blade with the measurements that we took, and that ground right there is 576.03. As you can see, I'm 576.04. So we made up that 9/10 difference. We're now 1/100ths off. That 9/10 difference, basically with the blade, thinking it's this way, it was like 8% off, or up or down, showing that that antenna was actually higher, 9/10, than what it actually was, because it thought the blade was tilted. Alright, so didn't take much to fix this one. Basically, we can go into tools, position check that left side. I already took a shot of it. We're good. And we're at 9.7, so it's a difference of 200ths. And it's all in the, somehow these numbers got played with, which is easy to do. People start playing with them and, you know, thinking they can get it set, and no, leave it alone. Alright, we got a Cat D6N, got the MC2 system going on right now. We're just going to get that one up and running for them, and we're going to drop the new project in here in the system, check it, make sure it's cutting to the model, and make sure everything's working, and measurements are good, and they can cut with it, and that's it. Yeah, so we'll start working on that one now. Yeah, just going to go ahead and do a full calibration on this machine. Still reading a little funny. So as far as calibrating the sensor for a road grader, it's really simple. You basically set the grader in a position where the blade is completely square to the machine. It should match the machine exactly. It should be a 90-degree. You hit next. It's going to record that position of the blade. And it's going to go to a next page where it says mark the ground where each corner of the blade was sitting. And you're going to basically set that blade right back on those corners. Basically telling the machine, yeah, that's correct. Okay, so what the discrepancy was between the rover, the model, and the machine was basically the rover pole. So from the base point down here, measured all the way up to right around here where that lip is 6.77, but 6.56 was in the system, so that's a difference of 0.2 between the two, and we calculated that, we fixed all that. Now, with this machine, we got old version of 3DMC, and we have a 2013 version. We're on 4.8 right now, firmware for the GPS, so that's old. That's old. This is a GX60. I'm hoping not to crash it. So we're about ready to find out if it's going to crash or not. So exit, and flash drive. I got the new firmware on there. So the first thing we're going to do, if I can find my... First thing we're going to do is go to my computer. We're going to find my flash drive. In there somewhere. What is this popping up there? Get out of there. Come on. Removable disc. There it is. 3DMC 12.2 535. Double tap that, it should start automatically and load this new 3DMC software. If it doesn't, there it goes. Alright, awesome. And next, we got to calibrate their screen too. I accept the terms, sure. Sure, why not? Alright, so now, let's get out. Oh, we gotta calibrate this. It's loading. Once the new 3DMC software loads, updates 3DMC program, we'll go into True, and we'll load the firmware for the GPS antenna. Right now it's not getting, it's reading, but it's not doing so well. 2013 firmware, you could probably tell, it won't do well. It's like trying to load the most current software today, something in effect to, like a Windows 7 on a Commodore 64. It takes a while, and maybe it accepts it, maybe it doesn't. We'll find out. Moment of truth. We'll go in, open up 3DMC. Oh, there it is. There it is. Oh, yeah. You can tell. That's the new one right there. About, yep, there it is. 12.2.535, 2021, and it took it. I couldn't believe that. That's awesome. GX60 running that software. Oh, that's good. All right. So now I'm gonna have to calibrate this screen, so I need a pen, something fine point, and mine blew up, so I gotta go get another one. All right. So this screen needs to be calibrated. Do you see where that arrow's actually pointing? It's like up that way from the point. So let's go to settings, control panel. Oh, forget it. Sometimes these old GX60s have them right on the screen, and there it is. Double tap the calibrate button. Hello? There we go. touch the little crosshairs. Give it a tap, and now where you touched, oh, that's much better, much better. All right, so now we're going to true. We're going to expand this. We're going to go into device, application mode, firmware loading, device, connect. We're going to connect to the main, yes, because it's the only antenna on here, and it's going to be the main. Go in the receiver. Should only be one file. Okay, next. It's going to connect to that receiver. It's going to bring us to this screen where it says firmware version 4.1. Woo! Next. This is where that's just the packet size. Next, firmware flash. Go in and find it. Get to your storage device, removable disk. That's it right there. The main. Open it. There it is. Next, it's loading. Firmware loaded. Hit OK. We don't want to connect again. Actually, yes we do, but we do want to go into application, receiver managing, device, connect back to the main. We want to do a factory reset on the main receiver so that it clears out all the old, whoops, go back, tools, factory reset, yes. We've already connected, we don't need to connect anymore. It already reset. Now we'll go into 3DMC. Check for that update. Go into GPS, info. There's the update firmware 4.8 D5. Beautiful. No distance to base yet. So we got to X over GPS, waiting for satellites. We want to check our radio settings here. They're still on direct network. That's not true. So we'll have to get the radio information so that we can connect. Alright, so what we're actually using is Topcon Digital 2 UHF. There. Serial port B. And we are on 38400. Yep, and configure. Make sure the same radio frequency, and we're running 461.025 at 25. 461.025 at 25. It is a PDL rover. It is GMSK enabled 9600 and set, and we should go green and start tracking satellites. And that was a good sound. Initializing. Green. Awesome. Now we just need to check our elevations and make sure we match. And I took a photo of that rover out there on that point of the blade. These Apple phones. This one's been messing up on me. Alright, so here it is. Let's just get out of there. Let's just do a right blade check, because that's where we actually did the position check on the right blade. Measure. And we'll check our values. 1110, 1117. That's 7 feet off on north. 128, 123. That's 5 feet off on east. 575.90, 575.94. Wow, that is off considerably. We'll go in here, we'll make sure it's on the right file. The last time this was updated was 2016, holy cow. Bulldozer GNSS, middle of blade, yes it is. Next. MCR3 standard, yes. Now we just have to check these measurements. There's only a few right there. That's it. That's all you got to deal with. One of these measurements, or two of these measurements, or more, are throwing off that north and east. Elevation is good, so we'll go out and remeasure them. All right, let's see how messed up these numbers are. So number one, antenna height to blade, I got 10.43. That wasn't too bad. Number two is basically just half of that, because it's centered. And you just get your trusty calculator out. You touch 5,000 buttons. Divided by 2. 5.215. Number three, how far behind is it? It's not behind at all. It's actually dead on. That was 7/10 out. And number four, the total width of the blade, they got 2/10 higher than me. I got 1/10 higher. I got 10.56. Missing something. Where's the one for the sensor? The blade sensor. Interesting. It only has it for the GPS. No, I don't think so. It is a PGA 3. It's interesting. I don't see one for the sensor. That might be in the actual calibration. Alright, so now let's do a position check and see if that helped out at all. Get back to my photo, touch 5,000 buttons here just to get to one screen. $57590. It's 500s high, the machine is. 12889. We're still 4 feet off. We're still 7 feet off. Alright, so I'm going to say, let's check the surface. It's on Stanley. That's interesting. Alright, let me figure this out. Alright, there we go. Much better on north and east. What you have to do is you have to move the vehicle. It's a single GPS antenna, so you got to move the vehicle around. And that's it. It's good. It's good. It's ready to go to work. It's got updated firmware and everything. So just go in here, just double check, info, take a photo of it. View, about, take a photo. Nice. Okay, so this dozer's ready to go to work. Final thing, actually not final thing, we gotta check valve offsets. Let's check the blade slope. So I put the blade at 0 according to the screen. Take the level and check. Alright, so when I put that blade at 0, it was reading 2.8% off. So all you need to do is go in there and enter 0.0 and the blade sensor recalculates 0.0. That machine's good, that machine's good. And I don't like matching two grade stakes There's a nail down there. I don't trust these. I'd trust the model over that, but that's what they wanted me to do, so they can run their curb. So that's what I did. That one's done too. Thanks for watching.